Welcome back to English 4.0, the radio show. Let's go! Advanced. Hello and welcome back to the program. Class number 126. And here we are with the advanced portion. As always, we're going to get started with a little review. Yesterday we had an interesting class talking about a phrasal verb to take up, which is to essentially to occupy, typically with space or time. So to take up time. Does driving take up a lot of your time? Driving to work, for example? Give me an affirmative answer. Kyle, yes, driving takes up a lot of my time. So it's it, the subject, well, third person singular, driving. So yes, it takes up a lot of my time. Yeah. Does work take up most of your time? Yeah, work takes up most of my time. Ask me how much of my time is taken up by this radio show. Kyle, how much of your time is taken up by this radio show? How much of your time is taken up by this radio show? A lot of my time is taken up by this radio show. Preparing for it, organizing materials, recording. Yeah, a lot of my time is taken up by this radio show. Ask me how much of the studio is taken up by the giant table that I'm sitting at. I'm sitting at a table. First of all, I'd like to mention that preposition, to sit at the table, we say. It's a big table. It's not round. It's long. It's not quite rectangular because it's a bit curved. But, yeah, I'm sitting at a long table. Only one of the chairs is taken up. It's taken up by me. There are 7 chairs here. Only one of them is taken up. Only one of them is occupied. But we have this structure to take up. But first, you have to sit at the table. If all of these chairs were taken, all of these people would be sitting around the table. We could say around. But instead we say to sit at the table. Each person would be sitting at the table, and we would be sitting around the table. But I am sitting at the table alone today because only one of the seats is taken up. Only this seat. But if you listened and paid attention yesterday, which I'm sure you did, you'll recall that this table takes up about 40 or 50% of the studio space. Yeah. It's not a small studio. It's reasonably large. And but the table is very big. It takes up a lot of the space. Yeah. How much of your time is taken up by studying English? Oh, a lot? A lot of my time is taken up by studying English. Oh, that's good. That's good. I hope so. I hope that a lot of your time is taken up by studying English. All right, so there we have our phrasal verb, to take up, to occupy space or time, to take up. Okay, so now we can move on and take a look at our translation list. Translation, absolutely right. It is time for our review of translation list number 41. And yesterday we only got up to number 5 because the other material took up, there's that phrasal verb again. The other material took up so much of our class time. The other material took up the vast majority of our class time. So it didn't leave us with much time for this list. But I'm going to give this list the attention that it deserves today. And this list will take up as much time as it needs, because it's very interesting, okay? So let's go ahead with translation list number 41. Number 1, dejaron toda su fortuna al cartero. They left their whole fortune to the postman. They left their whole fortune to the postman. Number 2. Parecían una pareja tan normal. They seemed like such a normal couple. They seemed like such a normal couple. Number 3. Casi nadie les hacía caso. Hardly anyone paid attention to them. Hardly anyone paid attention to them. Number 4. Hay una escasez de materias primas. There's a shortage. There's a shortage. Escasez, we say a shortage. There's a shortage of raw materials. There's a shortage of raw materials. Materias primas, yeah. There's a shortage of raw materials. Number 5. Tenemos que recurrir a las importaciones. And this one we saw yesterday. We have to resort to imports. Recurrirá, to resort to. And this is why we have the structure in English. That was the last resort. It's our last resort. Like it's the least desirable alternative. But if all else fails, we'll have to resort to that because it's our last resort. In the morning, I take the bus. I walk, and then I get a bus, and I go to the office where I teach classes. And there's no metro. So if the bus drivers were on strike, I suppose I'd have to take a taxi, but that would be the last resort. Yeah, that would be my last resort, taking a taxi, because it's quite far away. It would be very expensive, and I don't have a car. So I could take a taxi, but that would be the last resort, right? But here we have to resort to imports. Number 6. Es el único modo de que podamos sobrevivir. It's the only way we can survive. It's the only way we can survive. Yeah. It's the last resort. It's the only way we can survive. Number 7. Estoy interesado en ofrecerte lo mejor. I'm interested in offering you the best. I'm interested in offering you the best. The best. Absolutely. I'm interested in offering you the best. That's what they all say, right? A salesman, I'm interested in offering you the best. Number 8. Quiero hacerte algunas preguntas más. I want to ask you a few more questions. I want to ask you a few more questions. Number 9. Cuando se trata de mujeres, él se considera un experto. When it comes to women, he considers himself an expert. When it comes to women, he considers himself an expert. Yeah. They're not talking about me, that's for sure. Number 10. Era un asunto de vida o muerte. It was a matter of life or death. It was a matter of life or death. That's right, it was a matter of life or death. Todo saldrá bien. Number 11, todo saldrá bien. Everything will turn out okay. Everything will turn out okay. Yeah, todo saldrá bien. Number 12. Le conozco desde hace bastante tiempo. I've known him for quite some time. Desde hace bastante tiempo. I've known him for quite some time. Quite some time. Yeah, quite a while, quite some time. I've known him for quite some time. All right, good. I hope you did well on that translation list, 12 sentences. Okay, and it's time now to move on and take a look at our expression of the day.
Expression of the day.
Ah, yes, that's right. The expression of the day today is a penny pincher. To pinch. So pinch is when typically between your thumb and your first finger, your index finger. When you pinch the skin, for example, it hurts. Ow, you pinch. So to grab something with your fingers is to pinch it. So a penny pincher. Penny is the 1 cent coin. So if you're pinching your penny, you're holding on to a penny, which is only worth 1 cent, but you're holding on very tight because, in other words, you want to keep all your money. You don't spend money very much. You don't like to spend money because you're a penny pincher. Like Scrooge, he was a penny pincher. That's our expression of the day, a penny pincher. Okay? Someone is cheap, we could say. Very frugal or even cheap. They're a penny pincher. A penny pincher. Okay? Now as we move on into class number 125, we have our 2 points which are related. And I'm talking about beside and later besides. So first we can see beside. Now, beside is al lado de. Beside. With no S at the end. Okay? Al lado. Beside. Mi casa está al lado del metro. Okay? My house is next to the metro. So if I say my house is next to the metro, you can say that it is, where is it? It's beside the metro. So we can say that next to and beside are essentially the same. My house is next to the metro. Your house is beside the metro. Okay? Her book is next to his. Her book is beside his, right? No S, right? But beside. Our shoes are next to each other. Our shoes are beside each other, right? My office is next to the stadium. My office is next to the stadium. Where is it? It's beside the stadium. My office is beside the stadium. The place you're looking for is right next to the big blue building. The place you're looking for, where is it? It's right beside the big blue building. Right beside. Now, when I add the word right, it means immediately or justo. Justo al lado de. It's right beside. Okay? It's right beside the big blue. Where is it? It's right beside the big blue building. You can't you see it there? It's right beside the big blue building. Our building is next to the store. Where is it? It's right beside the store. Well, it's beside the store. If I say it's right next to the store, it's immediately next to the store. It's right beside the store. Justo al lado de. Okay. So beside, al lado de, beside without an S. Okay? Okay. Now, let's move on. I want to look at besides, which is además de. But first, let's take a quick look at our vocabulary of the day.
Vocabulary of the day.
All right, it is time now for our 5 words of vocabulary. The vocabulary of the day. Dolor de muela. Toothache. Because what is sore? Oh, it's your tooth. My tooth is sore. I have a toothache. 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 Ache as in A-C-H-E. But this is with one word. Toothache. Oh, I hate toothaches. Algo. Un tanto. Somewhat. He's somewhat strange. It's somewhat different. It's somewhat cold in here. Algo, okay? Un tanto. Somewhat. trabalenguas. Tongue twister. Ah, tongue twisters. I love them. She sells seashells by the seashore. What? Yes. She sells seashells by the seashore. There are a lot of these. Yeah. Tongue twisters, trabalenguas. Yes. Grapadora. Stapler. Stapler. Optimismo. Optimism. Optimism, we say. Optimism. It's important to be optimistic. Optimistic people have optimism. They're optimistic. They're optimists. It's good to be an optimist, right? Optimists have a lot of optimism, and they are optimistic, okay? Are you optimistic or pessimistic? Do you see the glass as half full or half empty? I see it as half full. I'm an optimistic person. I am. Okay. Now, the very last thing we have to look at is besides. Besides, which is además de. Okay? We have besides. We can also say apart from. Okay? But you say in Spanish, además de, aparte de. Okay? So, for example, apart from the scratches, it's in perfect condition. Apart from, other than, apart from the scratches, it's in bad condition. Now, you can say besides the scratches, it's in bad condition. Okay? I'll give you apart from, and I want you to give me the version with besides. Apart from her bad attitude, she's a great person. Besides her bad attitude, she's a great person. Other than my few questions, I think everything's clear. Besides my few questions, I think everything's clear. Okay? The weather isn't going to be nice tomorrow. What's more, it's going to rain. This is a different structure when we say what's more. So I give you a bad thing, and besides. So we shouldn't go tomorrow because the weather's going to be terrible. And besides, none of your friends are going to be there. Okay? And besides. Okay. Now, we're completely out of time, so I'm going to end the show now. I want to keep talking about this because it's an interesting topic. Study it in your student guide and take a look at it on television today as well. Well, we'll come back and we'll spend some time reviewing this tomorrow. I've got to go. But thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.